Live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Samee whist sessions. We are live again. I am live from a different area today. We're over visiting family in France. It's not the apartment you see behind me. I've put a green screen on because the sun was far too bright in the garden. I was going to share the garden with you, but unfortunately it's a bit too bright. So we have Liz with us, which I'm going to introduce Liz in a moment. So just say hi to everyone, Liz, so they know you're here.
Hi.
Excellent, thank you. And Liz is going to tell you her story in just a moment, but thank you for joining us. The Samee whist sessions seem to have taken on a weekly event now. We are talking about the little ways that you can support the charity as well. So you'll see there's a link going across for easy fundraising this morning. I just want to talk a little bit about that because that's a way you can support the charity without any extra cost to you, any extra time. You simply click the link, set up your account, and then when you're shopping as normal online, you link it with easy fundraising and they pay us a little bit each time you shop. So it's a really good way to raise money. And already we've got some comments as well. So some of the team are saying good morning, so they're in. Excellent. So that means we are some people watching us, Liz. We're not on our own just having a conversation, but as we said, we're going to treat it like a Zoom call and like a chat. So I think without further ado, let's let you introduce yourselves to people. So if you want to tell a little people about your background, about the challenges you've faced, about the business that you do and how your challenges have affected that, and we'll take it from there. Over to you.
Hi. Yes, I first started reselling books after being working in the charity shop for a while. I first started with DVDs and games, and in January of this year I started on my own Amazon account. So then started buying buying books and reselling them via Amazon. So
excellent. Carry on.
Saying about the challenges.
Yeah.
I find it a bit ironic that I have dyslexia and don't read very much myself to be a bookseller, but I've always desired to have a love of books. I meant to read them, not just sell them.
Yeah.
But, it is a bit like a drug dealer, I say. You sell the stuff, you don't use it. But yeah. No, it has made me read a little bit more, as in because I'm trying to read to find out information. So that's
good.
That's a good sign. That's the other challenges I have is that we have a son who's 12 who has high functioning autism, and I like to be around for him. So working for myself is ideal because I can work when I can, and the beauty of building up an inventory of books is that they will keep selling. And I sell mainly via what's called FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So then you send it into Amazon, and if it sells, then they send the book out to the customer, which means that it can go by Prime. And you don't need to be on the ball. You know, I could, if I'm really busy over some holidays, I can just put the rest of my account onto holiday mode and just let it tick away.
That's good. That's good. So you can almost like keep it going while you enjoy a bit of sunshine, a bit of a break.
Yeah, can do.
Excellent. And we've got a couple of people already saying hello. So Michael's saying hi, and Lorraine's saying hello, Liz. So I think you saw Lorraine on here a few weeks ago. So she's joined us as well. One of the things they've been asking is, someone's asked about what sort of books do you sell? Are they fiction or non-fiction?
Anything that makes profit.
The right answer.
Yeah. I'm still very early learning what will sell best. from my research, I've discovered that this is book season now. For booksellers, this is like Christmas.
Excellent.
So it is mainly textbooks at this time of year, which are because you've got people finishing their courses and wanting to sell their books, so you can pick them up and then hopefully sell them for a profit on Amazon.
Yeah.
A little more towards September.
That's good. That's good. And actually, Lorraine was just saying it was interesting to hear about Fulfilled by Amazon. So I think that's something people might want to ask you a little bit more about and find out a little bit more. But I think that's nice to know that you've got this system where you can just say, I've got these books, send them in, catalogue them, and then it's all kind of done for you. So you haven't got to keep piles and piles of stock at home, I guess.
Yeah, I've got piles and piles of stock.
So just someone was asking about how do you know when a book is valuable?
Yeah, you do within the Amazon seller account, you get a free app.
Yeah.
And you can see from there, it'll break down the fees, and you can see what other people are selling it for, and what's something called the sales rank, which is like top of the pops.
Okay. So it's a bit like
number one is brilliant. It's the most top book. Goes to the millions.
Yeah. So it's like the top 40 chart show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, do you accept donations? If so, how? So I guess they mean, do you accept donations of books and things?
I do accept donations of books. This is why I've got a lot of books at home, because not all books are profitable. And out of 100 books, probably about 3 would be worth going on Amazon.
Excellent.
So yes, if someone's interested, the best way is to contact me and maybe send me barcodes, because then I can tell them whether they're, if it's worth the journey or not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So just coming on to, because we've talked a little bit about the books, and I think there's going to be more questions that are going to come up about that. But I think one thing that I wanted to ask you, and we kind of talked about questions briefly in our emails, but when starting your idea, what were the main barriers you faced with starting and having the disability, the challenges that you faced?
Well, I thought about that, and there wasn't any. I honestly think it's run itself. I always think it's got its own life, because I started volunteering in the charity shop. I first started off with DVDs and CDs because their avenue ceased up for that. So I started sending them into Music Magpie and places like that.
Yeah.
I discovered that actually books were better than DVDs and CDs. So I started sending in the books. At that point, I was just doing it for the charity. And then the problem I had then was a lot of these companies like Ziffit and We Buy Books will only let you send in one title once.
Yeah.
Ever. So it's not ever.
So if you get 2 or 3 of the same title, it's like, no, you can send one, but you're not sending us the other ones.
No, because it says in their terms and conditions, not for traders.
Right, okay.
So, and I was thinking, well, what do I do now? What do I do? Because I'm not a trader. I mean, I was passing 100% money on to the charity at that point.
Yeah.
So I then decided that I was going to, I was going to do Amazon, and I started looking into that. At that point, that was December last year, I came to a meeting with Samee. Samee were running through another charity that I'm involved with, Smile. Wessex Faith Work Smile. So then from there, I was thinking, yes, I need to do it. But through the encouragement through Wayne and Sam, that I've been able to progress properly.
Yeah. You
So
had
yeah,
that bit of encouragement to kind of get going and
and the backup,
push
yes,
forward.
it's a good idea. You know, you've already done the market research because you know that the books, you can sell the books to third party sellers. So yeah, it was just the natural next step.
Excellent. And in 6 months, I think you were saying just before we came live, you've looked at growing it right rather than you've looked at rapid growth. You've looked at growing it right and how you get better each time. So you're kind of reflecting on what you'll do, which is a really good practice, I think. That's good. And I think, like you said, it's kind of led you. I think sometimes these opportunities do, don't they? They kind of lead you on a certain path. And I think it's almost like you were destined to go, right, well, that's where I need to kind of head towards, and have led that way, really. I think it's kind of almost fallen in quite nicely, which is good when it does. So I think what I'm just going to do is just share. We will share this a bit later, but I'm just going to share because you have a Facebook site, don't you, which is at Shearn Resales. So if anyone wants to find out a little bit more about the books and things that Liz is selling, then that's the Facebook site to go to. And we will show it up again. But if you've got any questions about books, I'm sure Liz will be happy to answer any questions about the Amazon fulfillment if people want to know about that as well. So you can just drop an email through to Liz, and she'll be able to answer those as well. Or if you want to know if she's got any books in stock. I think that's also what we want, isn't it? If you've got any books. Sorry, what was that, Liz?
People will keep asking me to look out for books.
Yeah. Oh, so you can take kind of pre-orders. I'm looking for this. See if you can find it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I do keep my eyes. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It's, you know, my avenue mainly is still with the charity shop where I volunteer. That's where I spent 4 hours, must have been 4 hours yesterday scanning through books.
Wow.
It must be a labour of love.
I think so. Definitely, it's got to be a labour of love. Definitely. So, one of the team have had a question come in, and they've said, what's the plan for the future for the business?
The plan. I'm thinking at the moment to branch into eBay.
Yeah.
And try to move some of my what I call low-level stock that just isn't worth sending into Amazon. Because the postage is just too much. It's not so to bulk sell some of these books on either Marketplace or Amazon or Gumtree. Try and move some of those. I would really like to get up to 40 books a month plus on Amazon, because then I can go for a professional account rather than an individual account.
Yeah.
And which opens up other doors for me.
That's good. That's good. So would you say that's one of the downsides with the Amazon side of things for you at the moment is the postage is quite expensive to send stuff in for the fulfillment?
The postage to Amazon's not too bad. They do a very good rate. You're talking about under £5 for 15 kilos.
That's not too bad.
Not bad at all. But it's their Amazon fees when they fulfill the product onto Amazon Prime is free postage, but it's not. It's the seller's paying for the postage.
Yeah.
It's free. It's not actually free. But you get big giants that actually on a lot of books, on a lot of mass media books, they can do it. They can do it so cheaply because their volume, the amount of volume they're doing and the setup they've got, they can send out things so quickly and so cheaply.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting you say about that, because I always say that with training, whenever we're delivering training or we have projects, one of the things I won't do in the charity, I hate using the word free, because it's like, actually, it's not free, it is funded, the money has to come from somewhere. It's just it's free to the individual accessing it. So it is, I get where you're coming from with that. You know, we have the same sort of thing with the training.
It's like the NHS. The NHS is free at source.
Yeah, exactly. So I think using the word funded is definitely a better one. Your postage has been funded for you by the seller very kindly.
Postage included in the price.
Yeah. Oh, I've got there's lots of things coming in. One of the team want to know how you're getting on. We talked about marketing things. How are you getting on with your book of the month idea?
Sam had a really good idea on that. She said
Yeah.
maybe by author rather than by book itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that, no, I'm building on that. As I come in across an author at a time, I'm collecting up a couple of authors as I'm coming across them. But then I have to do my reading and my research.
So it's actually,
I have no idea very much, apart from my next author I think will be Peter James. But apart from, I know he writes sort of detective thriller type books. I don't really know very much about the book, so I need to actually try and.
So you said about one of the challenges that you face is to do with reading, is with your dyslexia and the other things around reading. Are you finding that this business that you've taken on is actually improving and helping support that?
Yes, I'm still not reading for like the enjoyment of a story.
Yeah.
I have done in the past, and I know if a book doesn't grab me, then I don't struggle with it. I just move on to the next one. Well, that's an advantage of having a lot of books, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But it makes me, because I want to put good content on my Facebook page, so I need to research. I need to read up about an author and a little bit about what they write, so I can write something that's some way intelligent.
So, some way linked to the author and book.
Here's a big stack of
Definitely. Actually, they've said on eBay, would you consider selling other than books? So I'm assuming they're saying, someone sent a question in, would you consider selling more than just books, other items?
Yeah, maybe. I've recently sold, not on eBay, but through Facebook Marketplace, board games, or just one, shall we say. But I think I need to make sure, try and give most of my time over to books, because I need to concentrate and get used to one area first. Before branching to other things.
So I think it's like you said earlier, with you're working to get things right and have that progression, so that you build a kind of solid and you can build that kind of consistency to get your Amazon professional account, which will offer you other advantages, won't it? So I think the building to get it right in one area, and then maybe branch out into other areas. But board games could be an interesting sideline. You've got the books, then there's the board games.
I think, from what I understand, board games go better towards Christmas. So maybe that's a follow on from the end of the book kind of season, more into the board games for a season, and then so finding when the similarities are.
I think there was interesting. Someone's actually, another comment we've had in to the team is there any way that you could start a book club for ladies that cannot read? Would that be a nice way of introducing to others to reading?
I don't know. That is an idea.
Could be one maybe on like social media or something like that, maybe start a Facebook group.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Food,
I think
food.
you know, I think one thing is, if as a mother, you're always concerned about money and
Yeah,
spending stuff on yourself. So if you can have an affordable books available to you, then are you more likely to buy them? And
yeah,
and also that you don't have to worry if the kids spill your coffee over it, because it's yours. You don't have to worry about taking it back to the library and
yeah,
returns and late fees, because it's yours. But there is an avenue that if you haven't got a lot of space, that you can sell them back.
yeah. Brilliant. And we're getting some comments in the thing. Michael saying my old neighbour was an author, and his style was to write like a script, so you knew where you were supposed to be, and was broken down into small sections rather than page after page. Has had issues reading, and lose the way with too many characters. So that's quite a good tip with reading there, I think. Definitely. So I think one thing that I'd like to know, what would be your top 3 tips for anyone facing challenges who is considering starting out? Whether it be it, um let's take it from a point of view of the type of business you're involved in, not necessarily the selling books, but like with the Amazon, the fulfillment, and the, if they found a particular thing that they wanted to sell, like books or board games, or they want to go down a particular market, what would be your top 3 tips to someone who's going to start out in that?
My number 1 tip always to anyone is talk to Samee. Have a chat. I tell people, if they're anything with work-wise, even if it's not that they're, especially in the line of how work's going to affect their benefits and things like that, talk to Samee.
Yeah.
You're lovely people over there, and just help you think through things.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of YouTube. But try and find. I found there's a lot of American people doing book flipping, but not so many English people doing book flipping.
Yeah.
So you need to find people in your same culture, I think.
Yeah.
Help you with your research, same sort of environment, and people who've been doing it for some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, do your research. Don't go on what friends and family will tell you.
Yeah.
Most people don't think it's I don't know, they don't say that, oh, you're mad, or it's a waste of time, but you can tell in a tone of voice.
Yeah. I always say we have a saying, and I always say that, someone once said to me, opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone has one, but most of them are useless.
Wayne was the first person in Real Flesh that said to me, really good idea.
Yeah.
So, I kind of knew it was working anyway, because I'd been doing it for 10 months by selling to the media sites.
Yeah. So you'd already seen some evidence that this was going to work and grow and develop, which is good.
Develop it and grow it, because I was going to run out of titles.
So you needed some more. We needed more titles. Lorraine was saying it's bringing lots of happy memories. Her parents ran a secondhand bookshop for many years, and affordable books were a key selling point. So that's good too. So even then you can see, and I know the book industry, like I relate it to the travel industry. When I worked in travel, we had internet travel was becoming a big thing, and they were like, high street travel is gonna, is not going to be seen in 10 years time. Well, we've gone 10 years and it's still here. And I think that's the same with books. It kind of, books were under threat from digital technology, but actually there's still that thing about holding a book in your hand, isn't it? And the smell of a good book, I think.
Yeah. Or someone said to me, you can drop a good book in the bath, stick it in the airing cupboard, the next day it's fine.
This is true. This is very true. um, so Michael was just saying there he struggles to cope with understanding what Companies House or HMC are asking. How do you cope? Well, so that's an interesting question. So do you find that we're dealing with Companies House and HMRC, you have any struggles? And
I haven't really been dealing with Companies House. You can sell up to, for your personal use, up to £1,000 profit.
yeah,
You have that. I haven't reached that yet, so I haven't yet dealt with them.
so it's going to be a new experience for you. Yeah. And I think I would always say, from a Samee point of view, we would always say to seek expert advice from an accountant for that side of things, definitely.
Accountants can give you a short interview or short period free, before you charge you, or a short half hour or something before you engage with them. So I would go to try an accountant that will offer that service before you have to pay them anything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's some other ideas Michael's just saying in the comments. We might have a second line for you to go down, because second-hand record shops are all closed. So vinyl is possibly an option to be looking at with the music side of things.
Vinyl, its condition is everything. Books, condition is very key. Condition on books is very easy to see. You can see if it's water damage. You can see if it's falling apart. But I mean, I don't presently have a record player, but you to see. That's my my problem with vinyl, and also postage. You'd have they're delicate. Books are quite robust in the post. Records are quite delicate, so that
so it could be a difficult one.
There is a good website for if you want second-hand records.
Oh, do you know it? So can we share it with people?
It's Discogs.
Discogs. Excellent. Well, so if people want that, they can always drop you through an email and say, what's that link again? Brilliant.
And they're medical collectors that have lists and lists on there of their stock.
Excellent. So knowing what you know now, I know we're a short period into your journey, but knowing what you know now from your journey, if you were to travel back to the you before you started this, what would you say and what would be your advice to yourself?
Get started sooner.
Get started quicker. Take the plunge.
Just start, and but then again, if you told me a year previous to that, I would have said, no, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that? You see it work.
Yeah.
And other people have told me the feeling you have from the first one or two sales you have, it's exhilarating. People tell you you don't believe it, and until it happens, and you think, wow,
it
actually works. But also,
and I think, go on, sorry.
Also, don't. One attitude I have is, we have as families, we don't borrow. We try not to borrow. So I wouldn't put loads of money. Don't put in any more money than you can afford to lose. And start small and grow that way. I think that's a way to grow. Start small and grow it. Keep feeding back in the money back in. But don't go and buy. If you can't afford it, if you can afford to buy a couple of £1,000 of stock, people do. People do on Amazon. They do, but you need to be very, very sure in your research, because you can buy a product that's just gonna sit there, and then it costs you money because Amazon charge storage fees.
Yeah. So you don't want stuff sat there too long. And I think so one of the team has just said, great tip on money side of things, and absolutely right. And I think, you know, we all see these big businesses, like, you know, the big corporate companies that are on every high street, and people see these big successful business owners and they think, oh, I've got to have loads of money and I've got to have loads of ways of getting going. But actually, when you look at a lot of these people, they started small. They started on a market stall. They started, well, these days online with an Amazon account, and they've just grown and grown and grown. So I think, yeah, very good tip. And that's what we always try and say to people is, you know, don't try and invest more than you need to. Don't try and borrow more than you need to. Look at it very, very small. How can you start on a shoestring, and how can you grow it, like you say, by keep putting the money back in and keep investing. So absolutely, definitely.
But also, books are very low risk, because normally if you're buying secondhand books, they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
And also you go wide, not deep. You're spreading. You're not, if you send 10 books in, you're not sending in one product, you're sending in 10.
Yeah.
10 different products. So you're going wide, not deep in one, because if you get a bummer, then
so lots of different variety, rather than having one particular, say, author necessarily. You would have 10 different books by 10 different authors to kind of see what's gonna work really well for you. Definitely. And I think let's just, as well, so people know, we've obviously just going to pop up your contact details again, so people have got your Facebook page and also your email address. So if they want to kind of contact you about any books, and like you said, if there's anything particular they're looking for, they can send you an email and let you know. So if someone is looking for something particular and they say, Liz, this is what I'm looking for, have you got it? And you go, actually, yes, I have located that. Do they still need to buy it through Amazon, or can you sell it to them directly? How would that work?
If I've already sent it to Amazon, yes. If that copy is there, then they would need to purchase it from Amazon. But if I haven't physically sent it up to Amazon, I'm more than happy to for people to buy it straight from me, and then I can waive the Amazon fees.
Yeah, that's good.
Typically on a book that's gone through Prime, that's about £5. £5. It varies on the price, because it's on a part of the calculation is on a percentage. So
so in terms of Amazon, because I know we've got your Facebook and your email account, do you have a particular account name on Amazon?
No, it's just a third-party seller. I don't have an individual Amazon store.
Okay, that's cool, because I didn't know if we needed to put that up, but they should find a link to everything you've got on the Facebook page.
I haven't got. I've got stuff that I'm able to fulfill from home on the Amazon, on the Facebook page.
Excellent. We've had another comment about test market research at its best, trying different books. Good tip, well done. Mike has sent his apologies. He was running late, but he has joined us. And for anyone that's joined us late, they can obviously watch the rerun of this, so it will be on the Facebook page. And Liz, if you want to, you can go and have a look as well and watch yourself back. I always find it, when I go and watch them, I always find it quite awkward to watch myself on a thing. So I always say to people, you've got the option there if you want to. Anything else you'd like to add? Any final thoughts, Liz, or anything else you want to say? Or
no, I can't think. Is there any more questions?
Yeah, we've got another question there. What's the advantage of selling through third party over having your own store?
Reach. Just reach. Amazon is huge. We all know Amazon's huge. Why I use the vehicle of Amazon is because their reach and how many people it can get in front of. And a lot of people actually don't realise they're buying from a third-party seller.
Yeah.
When they still think they're buying from Amazon. But yeah, just that's why you pay. That's why their fees are so high. Is you're paying for them to advertise. You're paying for them advertising. And unlike eBay, you have to make your own listings. You have to take your own photos, and you have to take your own make your own descriptions.
Yeah.
On Amazon, you piggyback on somebody else's, on the original. You like the original new copy when it was released. You piggyback onto that and say when you list it, you say used in your condition.
Yeah.
You can put condition notes, but you're basically you're not doing any photos. You don't have to do any photos of the product, and if you're piggybacking on someone else's listing.
So it kind of does it all for you, really, and
Really, yeah. I think the skill is in the picking, the right ones, and there are tricks and there are tools that you can use that will help. It's like I was saying about the sales rank, but the sales rank is the sales rank you get on the app, Amazon app, is only like a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
Only what it's doing today. I have a Chrome add-on where I look up, and I can look up over a year. So what the sales rank history was for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use to pick my books. If the sales,
Excellent. See.
yeah. So it's not. People could tell me, "Oh, what genre? You need to look for a genre." I think, well, no, because each genre has its own few books.
Yeah.
That are everybody wants.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's better to have kind of a, like you said earlier, I think, about being wide in terms of genre, author, all that kind of thing. It's that wide as possible scope, not kind of narrowing yourself to one particular area.
And using the tools. I don't think I could do it without using the tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some tools you have to pay for, and some tools are free. Up to now I've only been using the free tools, but that's something I would like to invest in the future, is to get some paid for tools, like apps that will show me whether it's a good buy or not. You can scan the barcode and it'll tell you whether it's a good buy or not a good buy.
Yeah.
Whether you can make a profit or not, which is
that'll make it a little bit easier for you. Just you can scan the barcode.
And a lot faster. At the moment, I'm cheating. At the moment, I use like the buyback sites. I use their apps, and if they say yes, they will take it, then I pick. Especially if it's in the charity shop where I volunteer, I pick it up.
Yeah.
Because I can take it back if I decide change my mind. I can take it back with them. But also if it's not good for Amazon, I've also got the backup of sending it on to the buyback site. But then that title will be lost off my app. So
yeah. But I think as well. I think some people might look at it and go, it's cheating, but I would look at it and go, you're being resourceful. rather than paying for the barcode scanner, you're going, well, there's a company that already does that for me. I'll put it in there and see what they say about that book. See if they're selling it.
Yeah. Well, also they're not they're not true to what my criteria would be. So if I purchased an app or signed up for a subscription to an app myself, I could set my own boundaries, my own criteria.
Yeah.
Also, the buyback sites will also, if they've got a lot books in, they will reduce their price on everything.
Yeah.
And also, which is good business sense for them. But also, they will. But if they want particular titles, they will, increase the price of it. It also depends on what they've got in that day. If
Yeah.
they've got that title, but it's still a reasonable seller, they're not going to buy it.
No. So I think the moral of this story is have a look through your cupboards. If you've got any old books, then contact Liz. And Liz, if they're a seller, Liz will probably give you a small price for them that she'll buy them off you. Would that be a fair suggestion, Liz?
I try and give a fair price.
Excellent. Right. Well, I think that's covered everything. I think we've answered all questions at the moment that have come up, and people have been commenting. So we've definitely got some value from today, which is amazing. So I think thank you very much for joining us today, Liz. Have you enjoyed it?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right then. Well, everyone, you can watch this on playback. It's good to see you. We will see you next week with another Samee Whiz session. But for now, it is a bye from me and a bye from Liz.
Bye.
And we'll see you on the other side.